Afternoon, my name is Tim Coulson. I'm one of the members that are organising the Buccleuch Hunt Cross Country Challenge. And I'm here this afternoon with Ryan Mania, who's famous for being Master and Huntsman of the Buccleuch Foxhounds. And of course, I think, was there a Grand National win in there or something like that?
A few years ago now, yeah, but yeah, cool. Yeah, it was. I've had a very good career as a jockey as well. So
the purpose of this video is we're just going to go up and look at the fences. I was wondering if you could give us your insights to each fence, how you might ride it, what your thoughts were, and how you might approach the race as we progress through it.
I'm most definitely going to try, but as I can see a few in the distance, it look rather scary. So we'll go and have a look and see what we can make of them.
So we're here at the first fence, raised log. It's well presented, you can see it coming from a long way out. Initial thoughts?
So first fence is very important in a race. So it's going to set you up for the rest of the race. So you really want a good jump, you want your horse to see it, you want it to be nicely presented, and it is a lovely big tree. But as you come winging around that corner, it's certainly going to separate the brave ones from the not so brave, shall we say. It's going to take a fair bit of jumping, especially down the middle. It's a fair height in the middle, and I'd certainly be taking it down the inside if possible. But when you've got as many runners, you can't always go where you want to. So inside or outside, certainly stay away from the middle. But I mean, what a lovely first fence. And it's
so you can see the second fence on up, lining up quite nicely. You've got a nice long gallop between here and the second obstacle.
So by the time they've all got over this, they'll be spread out for the second fence. If you want such a nice long run as well, it settles everything down into a nice rhythm and a nice race.
So Ryan, we're here at the second fence. As you see, there's a bit of a ditch on the landing side, but a nice run up to it. What do you think?
It is a lovely run up. It's a lovely inviting fence from this side. Yeah. But I'm loving what I'm seeing here. Like, this is it's lovely, but it's challenging. You know, what a challenging first fence, but nice. You know, and it's depending on where you jump it. And this is nice and wide, bit of hedge, but land too steeply on that side. There's a nice ditch there that you're going to become a cropper. Yeah. So you really need to meet it on a nice stride. It's almost like the canal turn. You know, because you're having to jump it and then swing left-handed to stay on the side of the field. And the best thing you can do is just try and give your horse a chance to see the fence. There's that many people around about you, and other than that, you've got to ride it how it comes.
Yeah, it's not on your terms, is it?
No.
Well, so Ryan, we've come up from the second fence. There's quite a long pull up to this fence. The thought being that will just spread people out a wee bit and give people a chance to get in their sort of rightful positions.
The challenging bit is this long pull up the hill. They'll have fired into the first to second, and then that long pull up the hill. Horses will be starting to get a little bit tired coming up this hill. But the beauty of it is it's got a lovely belly, lovely inviting fence, so that it should push them back in their hocks.
Yeah.
And they're coming uphill anyway, and it looks like it should jump really, really well.
It does. It gets a bit kinder. It flattens out a wee bit. But yeah, the first three fences you are in danger of beating this a bit long, perhaps.
Yeah.
And getting into the bottom.
Hopefully, people walk the course who realise that it's quite a stiff start, so hopefully they go a bit slower. But it's a good challenging hedge, and it's to say, if you're meeting it on the angle, it makes it more difficult. But yeah, very exciting.
Fence 6, a bit different from what or what the riders would have accomplished here, got over so far in the race. A bit different. I think this could cause a few upsets.
It's now a different challenge, because the first few fences have all been hedges, slightly forgiving, whereas you're going to come down this hill into a completely solid fence. So they're going to have to think about this one, like really get them back in their hocks and make them think about it, because you don't want them thinking that they can brush through this. You know, on a normal day it's not a particularly challenging fence, but when you're in a rhythm in a race and the horse is used to brushing through a few, this one just could cause a few problems.
Up the hill from the wall jump, You're on the takeoff side. How does it look?
Well, your fence before is a challenging fence. You've got a fair old climb up this hill. So right now horses are starting to get tired. This is probably a breather fence. This is very straightforward, nice set of rails, lovely pole on top. It's one of them where you can get your horse gets a chance to get his breath back. Nothing too challenging for rider or horse, and you can just take a breather and think about getting home. But you're about to start probably heading downhill. This is a point where you just try and fill your horse's lungs and think about the rest of the race.
You've got a part A and a part B to this fence, as you can maybe make out through the trees there. On the day, the branches that you can see won't be trimmed off, so there's a little bit of a fight perhaps to get to the second element of this jump, but quite inviting. You've got a lovely view out there that you're aiming for. I suppose you're jumping into the dark a wee bit perhaps. Don't know if that would cause any
I don't think so. I think I just mentioned it fence before, how you'd be just trying to get your horse a breather here.
Yeah.
And this all just plays into that. This is a nice, again, very lovely, inviting, very straightforward fence. I don't think it'll matter jumping into there, but certainly there's not a lot of headroom through this gap. So, if there's a few vying for position, the only way you're going to get through this wood is single file, really, without wiping yourself out in a tree. So they are going to be jostling for position.
Here we are at the second element. Traditional bullfinch, not too thick. A little bit of a drop, but I think nice inviting fence.
Yeah,
a lovely view in front of you.
Yeah, it's a lovely view. Not that most people will be looking at that, but it makes a lovely picture. But I think you would be hoping that you're coming through these trees single file, so that you can pick your line. Yeah. Because if you look, it's much more tricky to jump this side than it is that side. Yeah. So they'll all be aiming to jump it here. It's a bit smaller. Yeah. But as you say, it depends how sensible your horse is as well. If they try and jump the full height of that, you're going to be a fair way up in the air.
Not quite a
and the ground runs away from you. So again, if you're meeting it running, you're going to end up in the wheat field away over there as well. You don't want to be turning too sharp and ending up upside down. So you are going to end up running away a little bit.
Up here, and you're coming down to Tiger Trap. Here, a little ditch, and then out over that wall. Pretty solid fences, but nice spacing. Bit of uneven ground.
Yes, it's uneven ground coming down the hill there, so they're not going to be able to gallop flat out where it becomes steady enough down into this. This looks very inviting, lovely fence. But they aren't, again, they're not going to be wanting to wing over it and then suddenly find a burn they've got to jump. And then, the wall over there looks fairly solid and fairly upright, so they're going to have to get the back on the horse for that. I will say one thing, the course doesn't get any easier. It's really, every fence poses a different problem, and it's really going to be tricky to get around, and a very exciting race to watch. You come in, this is the second last fence, the end of the race. You're winging down this hill. It's a fair old drop. Yeah. You wing this fence, you're landing way out here. Tired horses, the end of nearly 3 miles. This could, you land out on your head. This is where they get tired and the tire falls. So it's going to be really quite testing come the end of this hunt race. But a beautiful fence takeoff side. I'd say it's just a drop. If you've got a few at the front that are trying to win the race, they'll be taking each other on.
How much do you want that prize money? That's the question.
How much do you want it? How much are you willing to risk for it?